Heart attack, not avoided. Loss, avoided. It is the most frustrating game of the Steve Sarkisian era, for sure, in my opinion. I think this was the most frustrating game. I think the blames, a lot of it's going to be placed on Quinn Ewers and Bert Auburn. For me, and I'll hit on this real quick, and then Gerald, I'll let you go because Gerald does have to dip out a little bit early. I think the blame should be laid at Steve Sarkisian's feet, in my opinion. I thought this was one of the worst called games until that overtime for him.
I'm with you 100%.
Oh, lost Gerald. Yeah, it did not make any sense to me. The play calling was abysmal. You did not help out your defense. At one point, guys, the play calling here was 80-40. 80-40, which is insane. And I just don't understand that. As an offensive guy, you have to read the room and you have to realize we need to protect this defense. And Steve Sarkisian never made the consistent effort to go and protect this defense. He just didn't do that. Gerald, you back with us?
I hope so. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I said it in some group chat, I said it in an article I just published. It is on the offense, right? When the time possession difference going quarter, Arizona State had a 20-minute time possession advantage. There's no difference in the world how good it is, right? The 2001 Miami Hurricanes defense could not win with that level of time. And just the run game abysmal. And when it was time, I played right. But the way this game was all the scheme, I was excited for Sark early in the game. The script was really good. Texas obviously scored in 2 plays, and we all got really excited. But then it just seemed to creep slowly away. Sark couldn't figure it out. Arizona State defense really figured Texas out. Push comes to shove, Arizona State probably deserved to win that game.
Yeah, they did. So when you talk about that, I've never seen this. At one point in the game, it was 80-40 play discrepancy, and I talked on that when you buffered out a little bit. And it's on Steve Sarkisian to realize which way this game is trending and to slow down the game offensively and run the football. And he just refused to do that for whatever reason. Now, in the second half, we had more success in the first half at running the ball, and I wish we would have run it more. The interception, bad throw by Quinn Ewers. He lofted it, and he didn't lead him enough. You got to lead him past. Instead, he threw that right down the middle of the field, and it led to the cornerback and safety being able to play the ball, which did not work out. But I also hated the play call. To me, Steve Sarkisian has to realize what he has in Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback. And by the way, cooked in the fourth quarter and overtime to get us in good situations to win that football game. He played very well down the stretch. I think at one point, just off memory, he was probably perfect after that first missed kick, getting him in position for that second missed kick and overtime. He was fantastic. And his weakness is throwing deep balls down the middle of the field. He has not been able to do that. He can hit outside the numbers deep down the field because he throws with great anticipation and touch. He doesn't really rocket passes in. He's good at rocketing passes in over the middle of the field, 20 yards and in over the middle, but not that. And I just did not understand the play call. I believe at that point it's 2nd and 7. You just had a runner or 2nd and 5. Run it again. You're up by a touchdown. They just scored. Your defense is reeling, and anyone could tell that. When Cam Scatabo was going with our defense mano-a-mano in the first half, it was no contest. We were winning that battle. Yeah. Once we hit play about 65 defensively, you saw a significant drop-off from this defense.
And that's not – and I wouldn't even put that on the defense. Defense got 6 consecutive stops, right? Either a punt, a turnover on downs, or a turnover, right? And the offense gave 3 points and a missed field goal. Right? That is not that. Somebody was in my mentions talking about the defense played with a lack of discipline in the end. I'm like, no, they were just freaking gassed. There's no 2 ways around it. They were just gassed, and no matter what, there's no defense that can play level excellence with their feet on their end zone and playing with oxygen tanks on. Essentially, they were freaking gassed, and that's all the offense. The offense couldn't get going. I don't know what Stark was doing or thinking. The outside zone game seemingly fixed. I'm not sure what it was, but ultimately they did enough to win, I guess.
Yeah, it's enough to win. I'm going to let everyone know right now, if this is the effort you get next week as a team and as a whole, we're going to lose by 2+ scores. That's what's going to happen. The offensive line, my God, just showed it. It showed up again where, hey, you know what? It's 2nd and 7. Oh, no, it's 2nd and 12. Oh, it's 1st and 10. No, it's 1st and 15. How many freaking false start penalties can you have in a game? And Kelvin Banks, man, he had a couple today. It was by far his worst performance of the year, in my opinion.
Yep.
I actually thought, again, it's funny. Trevor Gooseby, every time he fills in, has probably been the best offensive lineman. He wasn't great today either, but he was pretty good. So it just...
They're great today. It's fair expectation. They all played
no. Yeah, they all played bad. And that's what I'm saying, too. Quinn bailed us out of some bad situations in this football game. Matthew Golden bailed us out of some bad situations in this football game. I thought we should have seen a little bit more of Jaden Blue versus this Arizona State team. I said going into this game, Arizona State's a better defense than Clemson. That was definitely the case just by watching them. Offensively, I thought Clemson was better, and I still stand by that. It's basically, if you can stop Cam Scatterbo, you can stop Arizona State. First half, we weren't tired. We stopped them. Second half, we were exhausted. He destroyed us. And I give props to him because he has basically unlimited stamina. He was apparently throwing up on the sideline, and it did not matter. Another play in this game, that pass that he threw, Malik Muhammad, he lost that because as soon as it went up, he's looking, he's like this, and then he sees it and he tries to make the tackle, but that wasn't a good throw. That should have been picked off. I don't know how you lose that in a dome, but I guess that is possible at this point. He played okay today. He played better in this game than he did in the Clemson game, but still not great overall. Jahdae Barron is a beast. Defensive line played really well. I thought the linebackers had some misfits in the run game a couple of times.
Yeah.
I thought Michael Taft also had his worst game of the season. I didn't think he was very good today. Yeah, he missed so many tackles.
He missed so many tackles. The Scatterbo touchdown pass was Taft biting on the run, which is kind of his job on the run, not seeing him pull it up. And that was a Taft and Muhammad special where Muhammad gave up on that and looked at blaming Taft. That was just a bad sequence of events, and the wheels were falling.
Yeah, 100%. It's a very frustrating game just as a whole because so when we went up 24-8, that what the announcers were saying was correct. That is what Texas has done the whole year of kind of play with their food, go up by 2 scores, win the game. Like most Texas games probably would have ended there like 27-11 or 31-8 or 31-15, something like that. That's been the recipe for this team. They play with their food and then they win by 10 plus points. That's what they do when they should have won by 17 to 24 points. In this game, Arizona State, because they have a lot of fight, and you see that with everyone on their team, and you see that because a lot of these guys, like they said, were thrown to the side, and they believe in themselves, and they played, again, really good, gritty football game today. But then Texas, it was a combination of that, and then, again, Texas was tired, but also, to me, I think, again, a Sark thing, you have to know your team is tired, and I think there should have been more backups and more substitutions in that game at that point. There weren't really that many substitutions in the second half that I saw. You usually have your rotation of defensive linemen, you saw that, but I thought there should have been more linebackers playing. I think you should have put some more safeties or cornerbacks in just for a play or two, just to give them a breather because they needed it.
Yeah, that you're absolutely spot on. Again, when you're outplaying, the 99-60 is the play differential. Like you have to be able to, and maybe there's not a team on earth that's deep enough to be able to compensate for that. But like there has to be something done, whether it's offensively, putting together an extended drive, getting something going, figuring out what's going on in the run game, using the quick passes. I didn't see enough of the quick passes that they're run.
No,
they're Texas, like it just wasn't really calling for Sark, and the offense, defense, I don't know. Times.
No, because I thought this was going to be a blowout because I thought they'd use the Oklahoma State game plan where a lot of misdirection, a lot of quick passes, and they didn't do that at all. Like was there any wide receiver screens in this game? I don't
call State.
Yeah, I don't think they did at all, which doesn't make any sense. And that's what's so weird about this game. We didn't run outside zone as much as we usually do. We didn't run running back or wide receiver or tight end screens as much as we normally do. So it's like this was just a weird game plan for me. And then what pisses me off even more in the overtime, in the late fourth quarter, the game plan got better. So it seems to me like, oh, this game got close, so now I have to unleash my bullets. That is not how you should take on teams at this point in the season. Arizona State is a good, respectable football team. They're a top 10 team in the country. You can't play with your food versus them. And that's what I have issues with Sark. This isn't – if he'd played with his food versus, like – the old Vanderbilts. Let's say we played an old Vanderbilt team this year. Fine. You want to play with your food versus them? Fine. You don't want to unload the clip? I understand. I want the clip unloaded in these games. I don't care if you have 2 more games to play. I want you to blow this team off the field if you're capable of. And it looked like we were capable of it early on, and we just refused to do it in even bigger sense than we normally do.
This is a CFP semifinal, right? Or quarterfinal, right? You cannot hold stuff back, and maybe Sark just figured something out there. And this will be my last thought before I have to get I don't know what clicked in the late fourth quarter time. Whether it was Quinn remembering that he's a big game quarterback, Sark remembering that he's one of the best offensive minds in the country. I'm not sure what the offense did differently on those last few drives, but what a time for complimentary football to happen, right? Where Texas scores quick, gets a defensive stop. If Texas is able to do that 1 or 2 more times, we have a relaxing afternoon, and I don't have to hide from my kids so I don't teach them new cuss words on a Wednesday afternoon, right? That's the biggest issue for me. Is I'm not sure what it's going to take for the offense to consistently play complimentary football, but that was the issue in this game once again.
Yeah, 100%. And those are great last words. Again, Gerald will be back with me Monday. He's got to dip real quick, but we got the win. We do have another game to talk about and compete in, and it'll be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what to expect in that game. We'll talk about it Monday, but it's going to be interesting.
Thanks. See you on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, so just a frustrating effort, and let's go to Quinn real quick because obviously you do have to talk about it. I thought he was pretty good in this game. I don't think he's great. I've never thought this year he has been great other than the Michigan game. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but putting this on him to me is just dumb. It's lying to yourself to fit a narrative, in my opinion, because what I watched wasn't his fault. If I'm ranking whose fault this is, number 1 is Steve Sarkisian. I thought the play calling was very questionable. I thought it was dumb at times. Number 2 is Bert Auburn. Brother, you have to make under 40 yards. You are an SEC kicker. You are a Texas Longhorn kicker. I can name off a list of Texas Longhorn great kickers. Phil Dawson, Justin Tucker, Cameron Dicker. I mean, we are very good usually in the kicking department, and he has been awful this year. And it's really frustrating to watch, but just very, very awful. I told everyone, don't sleep on Arizona State. I knew this game would be close. It was close. I props to Arizona State. I was wrong about this game. The first half is exactly what I thought was going to happen for both halves. Unfortunately, Texas could not control enough of the game. At one point, Jeff Ketchum tweeted this out, and if you know him of Orange Bloods, Texas at one point between the first 3 quarters of the game had run 19 offensive plays. Think about that for a second. Texas, for the first 3 quarters of the game at one point, had run 19 offensive plays. Do I think Texas is a better football team than Arizona State? Absolutely do. Do I think Arizona State should have won this game today? Yes. I think Arizona State today was the better football team. I think Texas overall is definitely the better football team, but this game played out beautifully for Arizona State. You out-timed Texas 38-22. That's 16 minutes. You outplay Texas plays-wise 97-60. At one point, it was 80-40. That is unheard of. When have you ever heard of a team up 17-5, but down 80-40 in the play calling department? I haven't heard of that. If anyone has, drop it because I'd love to know. It was a very weird and interesting game, and people are going to draw conclusions and say, if this happens, Texas will get blown out by Oregon and Ohio State. If this exactly happens, I completely agree. Ohio State and Oregon will beat the living shit out of Texas. The thing is, it's not going to play out like this. It doesn't play out this. Every game is its own different entity, 1. 2, Texas isn't going to get 80-40 play discrepancy, and that's not going to happen. And this Texas defense is still very good. Guys, they gave up 5.4 yards per play. That's really good. 5.4 yards of play on 97 plays. On 97 plays, you gave up an average of 5.4 yards a play. In the first half, it was like 3.8, 3.9. I think they jumped it up to like 6.8, 6.9 in the second half, averaged out to about, like I said, 5.4 yards a play. So, again, a frustrating game. I'm glad to get the win. I did not think we were going to win this game. I thought when we missed that first kick with Bert Auburn, I thought we would lose this football game. I truly believed that. Like I told Gerald earlier, I jumped in the shower, took a shower, was getting ready for this post-game show saying, we're going to lose this football game. Be prepared. It's fine. I was going to be pissed. I still am pissed. And I'm pissed because I know what this team is capable of. This is what I mean by that. So Texas, it's what? 17-8. Texas goes down. Beautiful drive. Goes up 24-8. I think the game's over because that is what Texas has done throughout the season. They play with their food, put on a late touchdown, win by 2 scores. That's what they do. Arizona State fights back because they are a good and scrappy football team, and they almost win this football game. And Texas is definitely a resilient team. They're definitely a really good football team. But it is frustrating as hell to watch them sometimes. Frustrating as hell. It's the playoffs to survive in advance. DDR 256. I completely agree with that. I said that going in, and I'm done expecting for this team to do what I think they're capable of. And I said that 4 to 6 weeks. I said it actually. Mississippi State game, I said the red flag started to pop up for me. I went on here. I got blasted by my own fan base saying I'm an idiot. Turns out I was right about that. And then I said about 6 weeks ago, this team is a Final Four team, and that is the ceiling. I still stand by that. I think we're going to lose the next round. I know that hurts to say. I know that hurts to hear. But that's what this team is. Now, do they have the talent and if they play up to that talent to beat one of the 2 teams that are playing right now? Absolutely do. No doubt. But I can't guess that. That would be guessing. That wouldn't be analytical thinking. I'm trying to be an analyst. I'm trying to see what I see on the field for a multiple game sample size and then telling you guys what I think will happen based off of that. I don't think based off of that, I can go into next week and think, hey, this team can beat Oregon. This team can beat Ohio State. I don't think they're going to get killed because they're going to play better today. But right now, early thoughts, predictions on that game, I think it's like 31-21. That's where I am on that. Could that change? Absolutely, it could. Again, each and every game is its own thing. Moose, I appreciate you jumping in here. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. You might already be. You got the W, though, Matt. That's all that matters. It's not always going to be pretty. 100%. I will take the W. I thought we were going to lose this game, so I 100% take it. Great play by Andrew Makuba in overtime with that interception. Good job by the defense overall. Quinn Ewers in the offense turned it on late. Quinn Ewers should get a game ball. Quinn Ewers carried this team late in the fourth quarter and overtime. He was phenomenal in the fourth quarter and overtime. He played really well, but he won't. People are going to hate on him, and I understand that. It was a bad interception that he threw. He's going to throw an interception a game. That's going to happen. At least it was down on their end of the field, and then we allowed them to drive down the field. That Scadaboo is a baller. He can play. He is a baller. He does not quit. He does not give up, and that is that never can die attitude that he has. He's phenomenal. He's a really good back. Him and Genty should get a lot more praise. Genty's going to get hate because of yesterday. Ashton Genty broke like 40 tackles behind the line of scrimmage yesterday. Both those guys can play on my team. Both of them should be first-round running backs. They're both really good football players. Arizona State deserves all the respect in the world. I talk shit about them. I thought we'd beat them big. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I thought this game plan would be better by Steve Sarkisian. I thought it'd resemble the Oklahoma State game plan of last year, where basically it's a lot of screen passes, a lot of misdirection, and a lot of attacking side to side with a shot here and there. He took a lot more shots upfield than I would like. I would have liked to see the more side to side versus a team like this because you are faster than them, but we didn't do that. But overall, I've calmed down. I'm not super pissed anymore. I was super pissed. We have another game, and that's exciting to say. Do I think we can win that football game with the product we put on the field today? No. Do I think we can put that if we put on let's say, if we can have a game like Texas A&M first half twice, or a game like Michigan first half twice, so a first half and second half like that, we can beat Ohio State or Oregon. Do I think we will? I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Count your blessings. I am counting my blessings. Prayed, counted my blessings, did a lot of that. Did not think we were going to win that football game. Overall, a really good game. And let's talk about these stats for Quinn Ewers. 20 of 30, 322 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 16.1 yards per attempt. Those are good numbers. And he did not get help Trey Wisner, 18 of 45, 2.5 yards per carry. Silas Bolden, 1 for 5. Jaden Blue, 4 for 4. We ran the ball 23 times in this game, which is way too little. Need to run the ball way more than that. I do not understand that. That's the Steve Sarkisian thing, and we will hit on that way more Monday. Again, this is you get the emotional product from me right now. You don't get you get a little bit of the analytical side. You'll get that mostly Monday. We'll probably do a crossover with the Ohio State or Oregon channel, so that'll be interesting. But Matthew Golden, let's just play in Atlanta all the time for him. 7 receptions, 149 yards, 1 touchdown. I love that guy. I have been pounding the table for that guy. Go back to my preview and prediction video. I said Matthew Golden was the best or second best wide receiver on this team. He's the best wide receiver now on this team. He's better than Isaiah Bond. And he is. He's so damn good. I love this guy. He's good at everything. Props to him. Ryan Wingo made a big reception in the overtime. 2 receptions, 33 yards from him. Actually, that was in the fourth quarter to set up the field goal. Let's hit on this because this needs to be talked about. Bert Auburn, 1 for 3, 22 was his longest field goal. He missed a 48-yarder. Again, Steve Sarkisian play calling to just play for that 48-yard attempt was bad, especially with who you have kicking. If this is Hunter Lawrence, if this is Justin Tucker, if this is Cameron Dicker, if this is Phil Dawson, play for that 48-yarder. I have no issue. You have to know your personnel. Bert Auburn is struggling this year. He is not the same kicker he was last year, and you play for a 48-yard field goal there? Very interesting to me. Very stupid to me. I did not understand that. The second one I was fine with. Bert Auburn has to make anything under 40 yards. That is on him. That is on him. 38-yard field goal, and you push it right. Are you serious, man? Frustrated. I will say, positive special teams. We blocked a kick. Silas Bolden returned a kick for a touchdown. We also, Michael Kern punted pretty well in this game. I don't have his punting stats right here, but that was his best punting game. I will say that. So props to him. He's gotten better. And heck, getting Jack Bergmeister on this team from Utah may have already paid dividends. He may have already taught him a thing or two because to me, he looked a lot better today, and that's going to help this team a lot. This team has to run the ball better. There are 2 big takeaways. Sarcastic game plan better. Actually, there's more than 2, but my 2 biggest are sarcastic game plan a lot better, and they have to run the ball better. You are not beating Oregon or Ohio State with 55 yards rushing on 23 carries. 55. Wow, I nailed that. So frustrating. It is. It's frustrating. And the amount of push this offensive line gets for the amount of talent it has is crazy. Kelvin Banks is going to be a top 10 pick. There's a chance if the New England Patriots get the first pick, he could be the number 1 overall pick. That is a real possibility. I said that 7 months ago. Left guard, Hayden Connors, going to play in the NFL. Jake Majors is going to get drafted as a 4th or 5th round draft pick. DJ Campbell's not going to come out this year. If he did, he'd be a 4th or 5th round draft pick. He thinks he's better than that, and I agree. He needs to play better. Trevor Gooseby next year, if he continues to progress like he does, is going to be a 1st or 2nd round draft pick. Cameron Williams did not play in this game. We need him back. I also think we should go more heavy offensive line packages. We have completely abandoned the heavy tight end, heavy lineman packages. Do not understand it. We need that more of in the next game that we play. Some second half play calls were sus, in my opinion. I couldn't believe they were able to steamroll ASU's very undersized line rushing. I agree with that to an extent, but this team really, it's weird. There are some games they do. There are some games they don't. The only team that's been consistently stopping Texas, though, rushing the ball is Georgia. Every other team doesn't really stop the run like that. So we'll see what happens. We ran really well versus A&M. We've run really well versus a Kentucky front that has more NFL players than Arizona State. So it's a confusing thing. It really is. I think it's partially not taking your opponent seriously at some point. I think it's partially these guys really don't have a killer instinct at the offensive line. If you listen to them talk, there's no jackass up front. There just isn't. Other than DJ Campbell, I will say he's pretty tough, but he's not the best offensive lineman we have. He's probably the worst, actually, offensive lineman we have out of the starting 5. So I would like a better player to have that jackass mentality. We'll see what happens with that if that comes along. I doubt it will with any of these guys, but we'll see what happens. But again, guys, Texas squeaks ones out. I had a couple heart attacks listen, I'm a Yankees fan. Between the World Series, the ALCS, I've probably taken 5 years off my life. I probably have. most frustrating. And I was drinking an energy drink, the leftover energy drink I had from the gym earlier today. So my heart is pumping and I am pissed. I'll go watch some more football. I don't think I'm going to sleep very much tonight. I know it's 6 o'clock, so we'll see. Maybe I come down from it. But overall, I'm glad we won. I'm glad we advanced. We get to watch this football team one more time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad team. It's always a good thing to watch your favorite team. It's a bad thing that I might have another heart attack doing it. But Texas does win 39-31. I think that's all I can talk about this game. I think we've talked about everything I could possibly talk about. Again, we are here Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, breaking down this game, talking about the next week's game. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below and smash that like button. It really helps out, guys, and I really appreciate you guys being here. Texas pulls this off 39-31 and hook 'em, guys.